Good afternoon, all. Paul from CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, August 1st. We're looking at window traders market profile of the ES and the NQ. So we said this morning, the wind's shifting a bit in the market. And they did. Without a doubt, they do. As ES, NQ, and RIDE are all down on the daily. And we've come into balance on the weekly. We came pretty close to last month's low in ES. So again, I've been talking about this. Anybody who follows me on a regular basis knows it would be healthy to come into balance on the monthly. Okay? You can have everybody out there calling death to the bulls. It's over. The bull market's done. We've gone straight up. We talked about it. 130 points in ES, 140 in NQ, whatever it was. From April's lows to July's highs. So again, you need some kind of pullback, right? So it'll be healthy. We'll see going forward what comes out of this. Now, I want to go over all these charts and stuff because that's more important than my trading. I had a good day today, right? The market told me one thing today and one thing only, to look for shorts. So before I get to that, let's go over RIDE ends 11 wide with an afternoon pullback, believe it or not, and they held their gap. NQ ends with a 9 wide POC, an afternoon rally high, and a gap that's over $4. They held their single prints from July 2nd. ES goes out with an 11 wide POC, an afternoon rally high, and about a $4 gap. Okay? Now, the volume, by the way, very nice. It's going to be the fifth heaviest of the year. We're at 132 million already in SPY. So that's pretty good considering our top volumes are all done in April. And this is the sixth highest volume of the year. So pretty good. I like that. Again, I had a good day. I actually missed the overnight low. I didn't get it. But that confirmed to me even more because we had gap, value, indices, and now overnight low to just look for shorts. So I shorted A, B, C, D. Okay? I don't think I maximized what I could have gotten out of those two time frames, but I'm happy with what I did. Okay? They were pushing down. I mean, and in A and the beginning and B, any push down. Okay, any push up was worth a short. They just kept making new lows. Then I didn't do anything to F, but I did get only shorted once in F, but I got the afternoon rally high. And then I shorted again in H and I, and my best trade of the day, I made 72 points on it, was to get finally the IB low in J. It took a long time, right? I knew it was not, and that's another thing we talk about in the room. Right after B period, where C was opening, I said we're not going to get our IB that easily. Well, we didn't get it till J, right? So, but when we got it and I was patient, I nailed it for 72 points, which made me very, very happy. And that was my last trade of the day. So, good day, good week overall. Let's get to the charts. So we're down now on the dailies, right? So I don't have to show you that anymore. Let's get to these charts because let's see what's going on here. So IWM, right, is the first one to come into balance on the monthly, right? They've been up. Now, they never got close to their all-time high, right? They got up to 220, we'll round it out, 227, 245. They missed it by $18. Their all-time high. But from April's lows to July's high were impressive. Then they came off in July a little bit, and now they took out last month's low. Now, how big is the balance? We don't know yet. It's August 1st. But for sure, we're back to balance now on the monthly in the Russell. The weekly. Now, I called the weekly up after last week. So again, I don't go bull bear. So I will call the weekly balance. Okay? If you call the weekly balance coming into this week, you can call it down. But for me, I'm using This week's low is the balance low, last week's high as the balance high now. That's all, right? You can encompass all this. So it's a 5-week balance. So the monthly balance, the weekly balance, the daily is down. And also the big thing is we close now, it's only one day, and one day doesn't make a market, the 200. The 200-day moving average in righty, right, proved to be a very big canary in the coal mine back in February. Big time, right, when we went to our lows in April. It took a long time for them. They were the laggard to finally get back above it. They finally traded above it in June. Well, the end of June. Here we are, a little over a month later, and they're back below it again. Again, one day doesn't make a market, but it's definitely something worth keeping an eye on. So the monthly and weekly are balanced. The daily is down. Now, NQ. Both NQ and ES had outside weeks down. We'll show you on the chart. They're still up on the monthly. Nothing has changed yet, right? Until we take out last month's low, the monthly is still very healthy. All right? Remember, this is our first, forget about 2% day, 1% day in a while. But we're down 2% in NQ. So the monthly's still healthy. This is just day one. The weekly is balanced finally. And they had an outside week down. We talk about wind shifting. In the last 15, 16 weeks, the only time we took out a previous week low, weekly low in NQ, guess what happened? We had an outside week up. Right? April 21st week and June 23rd. So this is the first time that something has changed, but it's still balance. Now, what is the balance? You want to call it 3 weeks? You can do that. You want to call it 5 weeks? You can do that. Here's my take on it. I know that this week of June is still $9 lower from where we are. But I think they could use a little respect, the bulls, for the move they had. So that's why I think I might encompass that weekly low from June 30th as my balance low. That's how I'm looking at it, right? The market has been very strong. Now, again, I have no problem. If we take out this week's low and you want to call it down, that's fine. But I think the bulls deserve a little more respect for what they've done from April's lows. So I'm going to probably call it balance at that weekly low. We'll see as the weeks go on or next week. But for now, it's balance and it's an outside week down. And the daily is certainly down, right? Certainly down. We had an outside, which one had the outside day down yesterday? I forgot now. NQ did. ES missed. So you went from we had an outside day down, which I'll show you right here yesterday, and now you have an outside week down. The winds may be shifting. So the monthly is up, the weekly is balanced, the daily is down. 68 million. They average 45 million. So that's very good. And then on the S&P, and by the way, before we go over the S&P, please keep in mind the all-time high is still in the overnight. The overnight, the yearly low is also in the overnight from April. So somebody asked in the room, which one do we get? The overnight high for the year or the overnight low for the year, or neither, or both? My premise, because I still think the monthly is very healthy, and if we pull back, I don't care if we come into balance. As of now, I would definitely say the overnight high, which is the all-time high. Why would I change, or would I change? I would change if we come into balance on the monthly and come out of balance to the downside. But we're not even in balance yet. So that's why for now, I would definitely still say the all-time high in the overnight. So the monthly is up. The weekly is balance. Again, you want to call it 3-week balance or 5-week balance? I'm doing the same thing. I'm using June 30th weekly low. Okay? I'm going to give the bulls some, they're due. It is an outside week down, though. So we'll have to keep an eye on it all week to see if the bears get paid off of that. It's not a daily. It's an outside week down. And then the daily is down. And the other thing I forgot to mention in Qs and NQ, we're below the 20. Now, again, is that the end of the world? No. One day doesn't make a market. Right? It's the first time we've dipped below the 20 since June 23rd. It's the first time we closed below the 20 since April. Oh, what am I saying? What am I looking at? Right here? April 23rd. Okay? Let me just see triple Qs real quick. We closed below it. It's the first time we've closed below it since, around April 22nd, April 23rd. So, again, in the S&P, the monthly is up, the weekly is balanced, outside week down, the daily is down. Excellent volume. We're at 138 million already. I had a lot of people just today sign up with, use my affiliation with Tradeify to sign up for accounts. Appreciate it. If you do sign up for a prop account, I would certainly use them. I think they're the best out there. I also think you would be really well served if you're trying to educate yourself and learn the market profile to check out this trading room. So come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Thank you very much for watching, subscribing to this channel, and liking these videos. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. And we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.